All right, everyone, welcome to the show. I just threw this together really quickly, but it's the ReGen Hearthstone Cup #1. It's Tuesday evening, 8 o'clock here on the East Coast. I'm spectating a match now between Shw33 and Ultanian. Without further ado, let's hop on in to game #1. Up at the top of your screen, you're going to see the score. I wonder if my deck tracker will work. I doubt it. We're not even going to bother tracking. Maybe I'll figure that out for next time. But looks like who's on the bottom here? This is Ultanian on the bottom. You can see behind me. Actually, let me move me a little bit. Make sure you guys can see that. Let's go to the editor. Is that this button? There we go. Boop. Slide me over just a tad. Alright. So, Ultanian over here on the bottom. On the top, it's Shw33 playing a Warlock. I don't know much about Shw33's Warlock deck. I'm guessing by the signs of this Galvanizer that he's playing some mechs. We already see some mechs coming out from Ultanian as well. There's a Harvest Golem on turn number 2 from Shw33. He's holding on up here to a Flame Imp. Could have gotten that out a bit earlier. Also has this Evil Genius, which is going to pair nicely. If he has something he can destroy, maybe get some value out of this Harvest Golem. We'll see what he wants to do with that. Just picked up a upgradable frame bot here. So he's going to life tap, leave up 1 mana, probably for that Flame Imp. Here it comes. Easy clear up on this Joey bot as well from the Harvest Golem. Sending it back over to Ultanian. He's got a few options in hand. He's got double swipes right now. He has his Replicating Menace, which he might just want to drop on turn 4. He also could use that Silence right now on the Harvest Golem if he wants. Also has an option to go with this Wrath. Looks like he might be thinking about the Wrath.
Now how about...
If you guys in chat aren't hearing any sounds or anything, just let me know. I'm hoping everything's working here. Hope you're enjoying getting to see a bit more of me as well. Cast in NGS, I'm normally not hopping in on the camera side during the gameplay. He's gonna go for the Wrath play. Taking out the Imp. This could get a pretty big advantage now to Mr. Shw33 up top. Still has that Death Rattle on board. Had a mech. Unfortunately, he didn't have any magnetic mechs. He did pick up the Bronze Gatekeeper. I guess he didn't have enough mana there. Yeah, he only had the 2 mana. But he'll have a couple more options on his next turn. That's the evil Cable Rat coming out there. Getting a Lackey in hand. Just wants the hero power here. Surprised he didn't want a Goblin Lackey just to take that out. It's still going to be alive here. Easy clear. And we know that Shw33 has this Bronze Gatekeeper if he wants to buff up this Harvest Golem at all. Or, throw it on this guy too. He's actually going to go for the Evil Genius play. Destroying it. Going to get a couple Lackeys in hand. A Kobold Lackey to start it out. 2 damage. Going to clear the board here for Shw33. Slightly behind in HP, of course. He's playing a Warlock. Been using his life tap throughout. Gonna set up some defense with a Voidwalker now. And he's gonna fill the board here with a Mecharoo. And this is great for Ultanian. You see, he's been holding on to these swipes since the start of the game, and he's not gonna waste any time. Swipe number 1 coming down. And Hero Power gonna finish off Mr. Evil Genius. So good board clear there by Ultanian. Shw33 may be getting a little bit over aggressive, spreading out that wide, but he still has a bunch of reload in hand. Has the Harvest Golem, has the Soulfire, and Leroy Jenkins. That's a 10 combo burst to end the game. So the moment Ultanian gets low, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Here's the Bronze Gatekeeper. Going to be magnetized on. Going to add an extra damage in here for Shw33. A nice little defensive wall as well. We do see in hand 2 Spellbreakers being held. Thank you, Student, for the sound is good. We see 2 Spellbreakers being held in hand by Ultanian, and I think this is the first one coming down right now onto this taunt.
Your magic shall not save you.
3 mana left. Maybe go with the Harvest Golem, or you could go with this Goblin Lackey. I actually like this. Give it the rush, take down that minion, finish the job you started. Still room for the hero power. Good little turn there from Ultanian. And now Shw33's left maybe scratching his head a bit. How's he going to find the other 6 damage he needs before the Leroy Jenkins and Soulfire combo can come out? He's going to start it out with the Harvest Golem. He's also got this War Gear. Going to get a big fat minion on board, clearing up that Spellbreaker. Another Spellbreaker in hand, though. We talked about Ultanian having 2 of them. Had 2 of the swipes as well. There's going to be the first silence coming out onto the... Or second silence, rather, coming out onto the Harvest Golem. Looks like he's going to play his own right behind it. The Mecharoo? Yeah, that too. Flooding the board now. And we know it's in Shw33's hand. He's got this taunt. He can buff back up this Harvest Golem that was silenced. Essentially unsilencing it. And he's going to, yeah, go with the double play here. And throw this damage on face. He's actually representing close to lethal next turn. If he can throw this damage at face. Ultanian 1, 5, 7, 8. He doesn't have enough on board right now even to clear this Harvest Golem. But instead he's just going to go with the Soulfire and save a bit of it. Sweet, I wouldn't have made that play, but I guess if you see what's in hand, this swipe, that's enough to get through it. Replicating Menace, also an additional 3 damage that comes out in charge form.
What if...
Ultanian's got to start making moves now. This late in the game, not knowing what this card's been. He's been holding it the entire game if Ultanian's been tracking that card there. Leroy's been around for a while. He is going to play the Replicating Menace and the swipe here. Probably going to run the Mecharoo in as well, leaving the Harvest Golem alive. But we have a lot of microbots on both sides being spawned. Would have been great to maybe see a Soul of the Forest coming out there somehow from Ultanian, just to keep himself a little bit bigger on the board. He has a couple of these Blessing of the Ancient spells in hand with that Twin Spell mechanic. Now Replicating Menace. That's 3 damage, plus the 2 on board for 5. Another 6 in hand. Shw33's got 11 damage that he can throw out. Oh yeah, he has 9 mana. He could throw all 11 damage right now, but he's going to be leaving himself wide open in terms of a clear and then no follow-up for the next turn. So he's going to go to the bank using the life tap and finds a Faithful Lumi. This will help buff something up here. Also going to use that Magnetize from the Replicating Menace. Deciding who he wants to give this to. Yeah, it looks like he's going to want to go for the Wraith there. Oh, he's just going to kill this Harvest Golem, actually. Going to play it a bit slower. Now, this is a big Soul of the Forest play right here if he wants to secure his board. But for now, he's going to go with the Twin Spell, +1/+1. And that's all he needs to close out game number 1. Ultanian coming back in that one. Certainly was pretty far behind. C Diddy, new account there? I don't recognize C Diddy 19 or 199 rather. Let me switch back over to the webcams. Hey, welcome back. As they're setting up game number 2, that was Ultanian winning with his Druid. In this format, you gotta win with all the classes you bring. Each side brings 4 decks. And their opponents get to ban one of them out. You gotta win with the remaining 3 decks. So Ultanian now has 1 with his Druid. Won't be able to use it for the rest of the day. Shw33 can still stick with that Warlock deck here in this matchup, but deciding to switch over to his Paladin. I do want to say the Shaman deck was banned out on Shw33's side, and Shw33 banned out Ultanian's Hunter deck to start out the match. Here we are in match number 2. And it's going to be a Glowtron coming out early, followed up by a Sunreaver Spy. Got the secret out on turn 1. That one snuck through without us mentioning it. And the Sunreaver Spy getting that Battle Cry benefit when you control a secret +1/+1. So that's a big play on turn 2 there for Shw33. Taking a look at his hand, he's currently holding on to an Aldor Peacekeeper. He did get a hold of Kangor's Endless Army there. And he has Ziliax as well, which would be great to pair with that Kangor's later on. Acidic Swamp Ooze might get some value here in a matchup up against the Paladin. See if Ultanian's running any of those weapons. Here's the first secret being revealed. It's the Auto Defense Matrix. Good old Divine Shield there for Shw33. Gonna keep himself sturdy at 3 health on this Sunreaver Spy. Going to be played Silence as well. Ooh, that's an early Silence. What's up, Carvin chat? Peacekeeper's the play. Ooh. Seeing what's in Ultanian's hand with this Mechanical Whelp, Shw33 might want that Aldor Peacekeeper later on, but he's going to throw it out early, try to get a little bit of tempo on board with it. There's the Spring Rocket going to finish off the remainder of Shw33's Sunreaver. And this one's flying back and forth quickly. Wargear going to be coming out, not going to be magnetized onto anything. Another board clear here for Shw33. And neither side willing to go too heavy into face yet. Both playing a very control-centric matchup here. Looks like Mechano Egg. These names are tough. I'm going to have to get used to casting Hearthstone. Mechano Egg looked like it. Yeah, okay, there it is. Ultanian deciding to go with it. Setting up some Death Rattle for later on. This is going to spawn out an 8/8 Robosaur later on. But Shw33, he's familiar with some of these mechs that have strong death rattles. He plays the Mechanical Whelp for himself. Goes into face for 8 damage, giving himself the lead here in game number 2. Consecration picked up for Ult. Pretty decent, but maybe a little bit worried about some of the spawns that are coming out. Instead, using that Wargear on the Mechano Egg. And you love it because that Wargear turns into a charge. And instant gratification right here when you get up to 10 health and can clear out the opposing Wargear. Nice turn there by Ultanian, setting up Shw33, who just picked up a Harvest Golem. Also holding on to a secret, he's got a Redemption. Gonna go ahead and pop out his Mechano Whelp, giving him the Mechanical Dragon. Gonna latch on a Ziliax, and this is gonna gain the rush effect. Smart play there by Shw33. Gives him the clear out onto that Robosaur. Huge swing, and look at what's on board. A big 10-9 lifesteal. Doesn't have that silence anymore as Ultanian. He used it earlier. So maybe a bit of a slow turn. Looking maybe at the Mechanical Whelp. Maybe Mechano Egg plus a dude. Or maybe Kangor's Endless Army. Did he have 3 mechs? I guess he did. He did. He's going to get another Robosaur out of it. Shw33 still holding on to a clear of this Robosaur if he wants to go for that. I don't know if he wants to. Maybe he's thinking Kangor's for himself. I'm trying to remember who's died on his side. But it might be better off just waiting for him to die here. Yeah, I think that's what he's looking at. Acidic Swamp Ooze is going to come early before this Tyrion's played. So maybe room for Tyrion next on turn 8, which is probably what Ult was thinking to begin with. And a reinforced play at the end of the day. Shw33's going to pass it back on over to Ultanian. Let's take a look at these secrets. It's Never Surrender. And it's Redemption. So Mechanical Dragon will survive both of these attacks on 1 health when it respawns. We're still thinking it's going to be Tyrion, but maybe it's the Consecration, which is actually maybe a little bit better. There will be a respawning Mechanical Dragon. I think it's going to be a Mechanical Dragon. Now Ult's thinking about Tyrion.
Put your faith in the light.
Okay. He wants to get set up with this weapon. Maybe seeing the opening last turn with the Acidic Swamp Ooze being dropped by Shw33. A pass! Wow! That's interesting. That's dangerous. Why the pass? And he's gonna pay for it now. There's Blessing of the Kings. And 10 damage into face. Make it 13 with the Acidic Swamp Ooze yet to attack. Sending Ultanian down to 9 health. You can't even attack with Ashbringer now because that taunts in your face. He can just run a Glowtron into it. But, of course, we know already Redemption's one of these secrets right now for Shw33. Consecration? Consecration. And all those minions are going to get 2 more health, effectively negating the damage from that consecration. And I think that's GG. Redemption going to pull back out this Mechanical Dragon. Going to have to be cleared out again. What do you do from here? I guess Mechano Egg, clear out. Yeah, no, it's GG. It's GG. Damage into face. I think Ult knows it. Ult knows it, yeah. He can count, right? There's 10 damage on board. Shw33 gonna swing it in. He's actually gonna show what was in hand. King Horse Endless Army. GG, game number 2 going over to Shw33. Now 1 apiece for both of our champions here. Shw33 winning with his Paladin deck. I don't know why it said he lost there. That was weird. We'll switch back on over to the webcam scene. I don't know who else is here. Camille hanging out. C. Diddy. Dallying Pig. Joja lurks. I hope you're lurking. Mr. Reflector Seymour. And Virgo Pros. What the heck is up? Thank you for showing up for this little Hearthstone thing we're doing. Game number 3. Looks like Ult's going with his Paladin. Shw33 going back to his Warlock. And it's going to be a Tyrion picked up in the Mulligan phase there for Ultanian. Let's look up top. We got upgradable Framebot, Direwolf Alpha, Leroy Jenkins, which we saw earlier in this deck from Shw33, and Galvanizer, which we also saw as an early pickup for Shw33. Maybe an option here on 1. No, instead going for the upgradable Framebot. Maybe I disagree. I probably would have just Galvanized on turn 1. It's sturdy enough up against that Glowtron.
Reporting for duty.
Weird play. I disagree. Shw33, at me. Reinforced played there by Ultanian. Couple options of which way to attack. Clear up the dude first. Use a life tap from Shw33. And has Mecharoo. There's the true silver champion, which we never did see in game number 2 from Ultanian. That Acidic Swamp Ooze was dropped from Shw33. And I was thinking maybe it could have been held for something like a true silver. There we do finally get to see it. It is in this deck. There's going to be the Mecharoo destroyed. Bringing out the Joey bot. Back over to Ult. Still has that Galvanizer in hand. Maybe a bit more value at this point. Picked up the Replicating Menace. Also still has that Faithful Lumi. So Galvanizer can make this a pretty big turn. Also has the Direwolf Alpha, which looks like will be dropped. And the Faithful Lumi, giving him a clear onto the Harvest Golem. Alright. So the damaged Golem, able to clear the Direwolf, but also in hand Consecration. We saw a little late from Ultanian last game. This time coming out early, getting some value, clearing up the board, leaving it empty on both sides, and now it's back over to Shw33, ready to fill it back up. He's going to play the Harvest Golem. Really good, really sturdy, and definitely should be able to survive a turn. Setting him up next turn for maybe that War Gear, maybe that Replicating Menace with the Magnetic. And Ult's just going to have to drop War Gear on a naked board. Not going to get nearly as much value as Shw33 will right now. Depending on which way he wants to go. Looks like Replicating Menace first. And a Galvanizer. Maybe could have kept that alive. I guess he didn't want to. He wanted more Microbots. Going a little bit wider, knowing that the consecration was used a bit earlier, I guess, is Shw33's thought train here. Camille says my boy wins. And I know his boy Shw33, so... Camille here rooting for the Canadian. I don't blame him. If I was Canadian, I'd probably do the same. I'm rooting against Shw33 because I don't like Shw33. How could you like Shw33? Come on. Just kidding. Everyone loves Shw33. All the way into face he goes. Sending in 11 damage total. And dropping a Voidwalker, setting up a good taunt, protecting his board a bit. That will be able to be cleared. Has a True Silver champion. Maybe this Aldor Peacekeeper on the Galvanizer, reducing some of that attack damage. He's up to 6 right now. Or option to coin out Tyrion as well. Now flashing the coin's ult. Looks like he's maybe going that path. Now holding it above the board, and looks like he will drop Tyrion. And there is a clear available. He can actually leave the Galvanizer alive. Just needs to run one of these microbots in. Can clear Tyrion up. And can run even more damage in on face. Still has Leroy Jenkins as well. Has the Faithful Lumi for an extra damage. And maybe can pick up a Lackey that can deal damage as well. Has the Ziliax. Oh man, he has everything right now. I think this is game. I mean, close enough. Gonna destroy a Microbot. I maybe disagree. Still has Ziliax, trying to count the way he can get as much damage as he can. The Lackey's picked up Witchy Lackey to transform, Faceless Lackey to summon an extra 2-cost minion. Ziliax going to be played. Going to give a Divine Shield to clear up the Tyrion. Still leaving a big fat taunt on board. That again, this Ashbringer is going to have a lot of trouble trying to push through. Ultanian on the clock now, basically. Because next turn, Lethal is represented on board right now by Shw33. It's just a mechanical whelp, not really what Ult wants. Of course, he does have the Aldor, which is going to reduce 8 of this damage off the Galvanizer. And a War Gear play. It's going to go ahead and rip through the Galvanizer. It does have that lifesteal. Doesn't want it to get magnetized back up to strength. Good clear there by Ult, but still on board. That's 3, 5, 7, 8 damage from Shw33. Gonna reduce Ultanian by half of his remaining damage, plus the 6 in hand from Leroy. That's lethal, baby. Shw33, if he can count it, definitely has it. Also Faithful Lumi for an extra 1. Looks like he's looking for maybe a little extra. Don't tell me he's going to miss lethal. He's holding Leroy. There it goes. Where is he going to send the minions? Can Shw33 count? Down to 7. Down to 5. Down to 2. GG. Game number 3. Going over to your boy, Shw33. It's a nice little rhyme. That's a Warlock win. Shw33 now, only deck remaining is his Hunter. Ultanian still holding on to his Mage deck, which we have not seen yet. Still has the Paladin as well. Thank you for the follow, J-Swizz. Or J-Swizz? Hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's probably J-Swizz. I'm going with J-Swizz. And it's J-Swizz. Game number 4, ready to go. Ultanian switching over to the Mage. We haven't seen this yet, and of course, Shw33 on his last remaining deck. It's his Hunter. If he wins with this, the match is over. Ult gonna hold on to a Magic Trick, a little bit of RNG, and a Shooting Star. Up top, we see Shw33 switching out a few cards. Has a Mecharoo, a Venomizer, and 2 Ursatrons to go along with the coin. There we see that random magic trick turning into an icicle. 2 damage. Good early clear. It's something to play on turn 2. Of course, this magic dart frog also pretty good, especially up against a Mekaru. We'll see if Shw33 wants to play this Venomizer early. Instead, opting for the bomb toss. Don't mind this either. Going to use the Mekaru for the clear up. Going to keep the Joey bot and one of these goblin bombs on board. Now Ult's got to start thinking about how he's going to get some pressure built up. No minions in hand except this Cosmic Anomaly just picked up on turn 3. Can't play it yet, so Goblin Bomb going to stay. A Fire Blast. To finish off the Joey bot, there's an Ursatron on turn 3 from Shw33. Going to set him up with a good little strong Death Rattle, actually. I don't know what he has in his deck in the form of mechs, but Ursatron can pull back anything. And when he's got 2 of them, he can play on the next turn as well. He's going to get some value. Here's going to be an Icicle and a Shooting Star. I maybe would have just pinged there. I don't know if that's enough value over just using your ping. You still had a mana there. You didn't kill the Goblin Bomb. I would have just Fire Blasted Ultanian, especially when you have a Cosmic Anomaly in hand. You could have had that combo later for 3 damage onto 3 different minions. Tad bit of a misplay for me. Cinderstorm an option here. Doesn't have spell damage on board yet, so this Spellbook Binder not going to get the benefit of the Battlecry effect. Going to play it anyway. Need some tempo. And Ult maybe starting to look desperate. Shw33 kind of walking all over here. This mech Hunter with the bombs is really strong. We see Leroy now in hand. Boommaster Flark picked up. Still holding on to the coin. Can safely play an Ursatron as his Goblin Bomb's going to clear up the board. Send 2 damage into face. And spawn out 3 Microbots. Shw33 with a dominant board position right now. I think the Cinderstorm has to come. Will the Sorcerer's Apprentice come first? No, it's not. Again, I maybe would have rather seen the Sorcerer's Apprentice coming out first, saving a mana. You still have room for a Fire Blast, if that's the case. Couple misplays here from Ult, in my opinion. We'll see if Shw33 is going to punish. Galvanizer's being hovered right now. Plenty of mechs in hand. Still that Venomizer. Instead, going to go with the Whirly Glider. Just going to send out some Goblin Bombs. There's the Galvanizer. And an Ursabot clear. Steady shot to the face. Does he want to throw out the Mekaru? He's going to pass on over to Ultanian, worried about maybe some wave clear on hand. Now he gets another Shooting Star, can play with this Cosmic Anomaly. A little bit of luck there, grabbing that off the top. Going to be a nice board clear. Going to give him the first lead on the board in terms of minions. Is this a best of 5? Yes, it is a best of 5. Currently, Shw33's up 2-1 over Ultanian. There's a Boommaster Flark on an empty board. Mekaru behind it. Fireballs in hand. That's all Ultanian has right now. That's not nearly enough damage to get through the entire face of Shw33. Conjurer's Culling, perhaps. Frostbolt as well, if he wants to just dedicate damage to the face. Of course, Mirror Image as well would be great in this current situation. We do see just the 2 attacking minions wouldn't be able to clear through it. Instead, going for that Frostbolt. Gonna throw it at the Boommaster. Send 4 damage into face. Ping off the Mekaru. And now, is there enough damage from Shw33 to finish a job? Of course, Leroy on hand. Still has the coin. A Fireworks tech to send one of these bombs through. Here's the War Gear first. Fireworks tech as well. 6 damage. Putting him down to 10 now. I don't know. Still just the 8, 16, 20 damage. Just short. Is Ultanian going to have to clear up these Goblin Bombs? But is this too much right now? Kills the Joey bot. Okay. I mean, if Shw33 can kill... Oh, wait. He has Leroy. He's not using Leroy. He gets to use both. Game number 4. I mean, Leroy Jenkins MVP, but game number 4 going over to Shw33. He's going to be moving on to round number 2, potentially facing me in round number 2. But that was it for the matchup. Let me know what you guys thought of it. Is this a fun version of Hearthstone? Is the format good? If you want to follow the action, head on over to the ReGen Discord. There is a link in the Hearthstone channel. Calling this the ReGen Hearthstone Cup 1. And it's Shw33 advancing to the next round of the upper bracket. Ultanian's going to be pushed down to the lower bracket. This is a double elimination event. So not out of this event yet is Ultanian. Still a chance to come back in, climb his way back. But until next time, I'm Murda. And I'll see you guys in the tavern.